Hello everyone, I'm going to show you how to solve Leetcode question 36 valid Sudoku, and it's a median Leetcode question. So basically they give you a 9 multiplex 9 size of Sudoku board is valid. To determine if it's valid, only the cells field needs to validate it according to the following rules. So for the empty cells, like we simply don't have to worry about them. So each row must contain the digit 1 to 9 without repetition. Say, let's take a look at the first row, 5, 3, 7, right? And there's no repetition. Each 9 of the 9, each column must contain digit 1 to 9 without repetition. And let's take a look at the first column here. 5, 6, 8, 4, 7. There's no repetition from 1 to 9, right? Each of the 9, 3 multiplex 3 sub boxes of the grid must contain digit 1 to 9 without repetition. If we look at the first box here, the first box, second box, third box, right? And we see 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 8, and then there is no repetition in this box either. So we only need to check the 3 conditions. That's the rules. We need to check each row, each column, and each box, make sure there's no repetition, 1, 2, 3, whatever that is filled. And note, a Sudoku board partially filled could be valid, but it's not necessarily solvable. So this is valid. If we want to, it's not solvable. It doesn't require you to calculate any number to add up to the sum or anything. You don't need to solve it. You just need to judge if it's valid or not based on these 3 rules that they give to you. Only fill the cell needs to be validated according to the mentioned rules. So only 3 rules, and then in this example, they give you a Sudoku here. There's no repetition of the rows, columns, and in each boxes. So the output return true. And then there's another one here. There's repetition. So there's explanation mentioned that it's invalid here. And then there are some constraints here, and the length already tell you is equal to 9 already. And if you take a look at it, and it got asked by a bunch of companies in the past 6 months. So definitely great question to practice on as well. And if you think about it, if we use our hash set to solve this problem, the rows and the columns are fairly easy to check in this case. It's each small box. How do we specify that? The way that you do it is that this is box 0, right? 0, 1, 2. And then the way how you do it is that since it's a 3 multiplex 3 box, so you want to make sure that to get the remainder of 3. So for example, if I do R3 and say that this one is 0, right? So then it's 0, and it's in the box 0. And if C get the remainder of this column, and it's box 0 too, right? And then if you get a remainder of 3, you will be able to specify the box. That's how you can do it. And then you basically put 3 hash set and to store all the columns and the rows and each boxes, and then you try to see if go through every single small box inside of this Sudoku here, and if it's empty, you just ignore it, continue. If the board, the RC is already in those hash set, then you want to return false because that means there's a duplicate, right? And then otherwise, you're going to just add every single cell that you have visited to the hash set that you have defined. And for the box hash set, you want to define it as R remainder of 3 and a C remainder of 3, so that way you can check all 3 conditions. And I think I can show you how to do this in code, and you will see this more clearly. So I'm going to define n equals to 9 first, as say it already tell you that n equals to 9. So I'm gonna define the rows is a default dict, and I'm gonna use our set here, and then columns I'm also gonna use a default dict, and I'm gonna use our set here, and then I'm gonna define another boxes, and it's use default dict and set as well, and I'm gonna go through every single small column inside of this Sudoku here. So for R in range of 9, right? For C in range of 9 as well in this case. And then if the board R C equals to empty, yeah, it's a dot. That's how you represent it, because they use the dot to represent as a empty cell. If it's an empty cell, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna continue, because I'm not gonna don't need to check anything. It's don't need to be solvable. So if the board RC is in the rows R is in the hash set that we have defined already, or board C in calls in the column, right? Or board R C in the boxes. The boxes, that's how we mention how we define it, right? It's R, get a remainder of R, and C get a remainder of divided by 3, so we can see which box it falls under. If they are in any of the hash set already, that means that there's a duplicate. In this case, we want to return false, right? Otherwise, if it's not returning false, then what I need to do is rows.r.add. I want to add the board RC, and then for the calls C, I want to add board RC as well, right? And then I also wanted to add the boxes. The boxes I want to add basically is R division of 3, and then C3, and then I'm gonna say add also board R. So make sure that I said that I visit them to add them to the hash set, and then after I go through entire every single cell in this grid in the board, then I can return true. That means I validate everything is valid. Boxes is not defined. Oh, there is a typo here, so it should be boxes. Yep. If you think this is helpful, please like my video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon with more Leetcode questions. Bye bye.